Hey, good morning. It's Christy Shell with Zeal Coaching, and this is your Coffee with Christy. I hope you have your warm mug. We're ready for a little Java of inspiration and just a little bit of tips about how to live life a little bit better. Today, we're talking about calming fears, and so I think it's interesting this week. There's sort of the last few weeks, the last few months, we've seen so many really scary things that will really bring up some huge anxiety. I know I'm feeling anxiety. I know there's lots of reasons to be nervous in the world and some issues that we really need to approach. But if we have this level of anxiety, that if we cannot calm our natural fear and not be in a fear mindset, it's really going to be challenging to listen, because when we go into that fear mindset, we are going into natural protection mode. And so it's really important right now that we learn how to calm that fear. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for being here. How to really calm that fear. So we're going to just talk about this micro moments before we get triggered and how we can kind of prevent that. So maybe you're familiar with this idea of trigger. Most people are, but it's the concept that when something happens, we have a quick, irrational kind of reaction, okay? It's a high emotional reaction from something that happens, or a way that we're understanding a situation that gets us to anger, or gets us to fighting, or gets us to kind of running away. So triggering, just in that sense, is this response of being a fight, flight, please, or freeze, okay? And so when we feel unsafe or attacked, or something is dangerous in our mind, we will go to one of these responses. So fight is just that anger, that protection. The mama bear comes out. We like to say at our house, when the mama bear comes out, especially around my children, right? That fight, I'm going to protect, right? And the second one is to think about, good morning, everybody, how are you? The second one is to really think about so fight, flight. So flight is kind of avoiding, it's kind of running away, it could be like hiding, but like in everyday life, this is really like avoiding. It really is kind of like, I'm not going to deal with it, kind of being in denial, kind of like just stepping away. It could actually physically getting away type of thing, or walking out of the room, that kind of thing. That is kind of the flight trigger. The next one is freeze, okay? And to really think about freeze is like that deer in the headlights. It's like the quick reaction, kind of being stunned, and you're not really sure what to do. So you kind of are it's like shock, right? And so we often have that as just like our initial, oh no, and just kind of like that fear. But it can actually like last, because people kind of are bewildered or confused, so they really don't know what to do, and so they kind of really freeze. It's different than intentionally avoiding, right? Intentionally hiding or fleeting, right? So that idea. And then the last one, and probably the most common one, is to please, especially for us women, or men actually too. They will try to please, which is a way of avoidance, but we're going to give up things or to do things to make other people happy, to kind of get away from the trigger. Oh no, it's fine, whatever, right? Or sure, we can do that, and you really don't want it, and you're really not feeling it. So it's really, it's actually a fear trigger that is happening there a lot of times when we over accommodate or we over please people, because we want to avoid that fight. So it's a little bit about avoiding, it's a little bit about flight, but that is what pleasing is when you're in a trigger kind of mode. So let's talk a little bit more about this. It's really interesting that how do we calm that fear? Because when we get triggered, we don't think rationally. We don't think rationally. That was a weird statement to say, but we don't think rationally, right? We say things, we do things, we avoid things that we really wish that we had approached, or that we had gone over. Good morning, Maria. How are you? So to really think about, what is it that triggers us, and when we get to that irrational thing, how do we avoid that so that we don't blow up or we don't hide away, and we can get to this place where we can naturally have a rational conversation, seek to understand, maybe have empathy, those things that really kind of bring down our anxiety and bring up our understanding. So what's interesting is really to take this moment to go, there's 5 kind of steps that I've laid out. Kind of in that, it's like a little, we're taking this microseconds that we go from something happens to trigger, right? So the quicker we realize we're getting triggered, the faster we can dissolve it. Because what happens is when we get triggered and it goes to full anger, it's so hard to get past, right? You have to like kind of go through the whole emotions of it, and then you can be rational. But if you notice earlier that you're amping up or that friction is happening, we can often say, ooh, I'm getting triggered and I need to take a breath and do things. So I'm going to give you those steps, okay? So again, the first step is noticing. Is my blood pressure going up? Do I feel myself getting, quieter? Am I pulling back a little bit? Those types of things. And this is kind of the trigger. Is there an underlying tension, or did you come into a situation with an underlying tension? Sometimes you have big events like big graduation parties and things like that, and there's already kind of things that you're worried about. There's more things on you. That's Piper. Say hi, Piper. She's checking out the birds on the window. So this is our puppy TV. See, she's so cute. So the idea though of this is the idea that when you get triggered, do you notice it? Do you underline? And you have to be really intentional to kind of be feeling your feelings, okay? We all kind of stuff them away to get things done or get through life or whatever. But to kind of know I'm already being triggered, I'm already amping up, I'm already stressed a little bit, or there's some tension, and to notice that can happen very quickly, that we would blow the fuse, okay? So noticing it first. The next step is really to ask yourself, because what that is that's a natural reaction to danger, okay? And we don't have a lot of danger in our life, but we really do have to ask myself, am I in danger right now? So 98% of the time, you're not in real danger. You're really just fine, but something happened that made you get to that emotional, it's usually an internal, it hurt your feelings or something like that. And so that will amp you up or send you over to the trigger phase. But to think about am I in real danger? So if you're in real danger, get out, run, do whatever. And I mean that because some people have a natural instinct to be oh, this isn't a good situation to be in. And then they stay and then we're in the fight, or we're in it and we could have avoided this fight or whatever. So are you in real danger? And again, 98% of the time, as generally Americans, we're not. Now, there seems to be more real danger in our lives right now. So to really know, am I feeling anxious, and is that a tell, and I need to get myself out of this situation, or I'm not making the right decision, or that person's getting angry and I need to kind of evacuate myself. And that is completely fine. And that's a good flight kind of idea. That's a great flight kind of idea. Or protection. Those are good things. But notice when it's not really real and when it is really real. Okay? The next one is when you realize it, we're going to take a breath. We're going to say to ourselves, I'm really just fine here. I'm smart, I'm intelligent, what they're saying may not be true, I don't have to believe what other people, are doing or whatever, and I don't have to go to an emotional level where other people, and you really, I'm not in real danger, I'm really fine. And this helps us calm and kind of separate, especially if a situation is elevated, if it's already amped up, I'm fine. Just relax and kind of be in your skin and be in this place where you can get back to a rational thought. Now, if you don't catch the emotion ahead of time, it's really hard to do that. So you have to notice, I'm not in real danger. Now I really have to tell myself I'm not really in danger. I have to kind of soothe myself and bring my energy down, okay? When I can do that, then I can quickly, again, get back to more of that rational thought. Now, if you start to feel yourself getting amped up and you're trying to calm yourself, the next step is to really give yourself space or other space. So this is a little bit of like functional flight, right? It's like using that productively. Just give myself space to walk away. You know, if you're like, say your children are having an argument and you're always like, go to your rooms, right? Well, that helps, right? But like to give each other space and to give them time to kind of evacuate that situation and get themselves calm and doing that. But to really intentionally do this for yourself, I want to talk a little bit about media right now. Like media is amping us up and putting this level. Now, there are real things we need to know about them. But if you're watching or absorbing that 100% like all hours of the day, you are amping up and bringing up your anxiety, and you're going to be triggered faster and more than anybody else because you're already at an anxious level, okay? So the translation or the equating with media is to turn it off, right? To turn it off, walk away, give yourself a little bit of media diet and saying you can only take in so much, and then I'm going to walk away, because it is not helping our anxiety or our ability to make rational decisions around anything right now, to have that inundation with negative information and bringing you up every time. So making sure that you turn it off, you take some time to be calm, you go for a walk, you cry if you need to, you take a nap if you're tired, you get outside, you talk to a friend, you watch I love to watch funny shows like Friends or something when I'm feeling kind of anxious and stuff, because I can instantly bring myself down. Like I'm like, oh, see, life is fine. Like, and it's so important because then I can think rationally about a problem. We would say it's a little bit of avoiding, but I'm really intentionally changing my mindset that I can think about something rationally. But if I stay in that situation, I cannot think about it rationally. So giving your space, giving yourself time, giving others space and time to calm and kind of change their mindset. The other piece is to release it. So really do talk it out, right? So once you kind of calm down, we can really release it. We can really kind of shake it out. You'll hear, I do a lot of this when I'm, working on a negative issue with a client. After they leave, I'll be like, shake it off, like get it out of me. And then I have like a little bit of like getting rid of, I wash myself off or whatever, just like an intentionally weird thing to like get rid of that negative energy so that I can get back into my day or back into the moment, right? So here's a confession. Last week, right before I did my video, I was telling some clients this week, I got really triggered and I had a big argument with my husband, Steve. And what happened is like, once I blew up, not pretty and not happy and not proud of it, but once I blew up and I released that energy, which was not in a functional way, right? I didn't hurt anybody, but I probably hurt his feelings. I'm so sorry, Steve. But I don't want to do that, right? So, but what I really need to do, I left, I went to my office, I took some breaths, I listened to some music, I'm changing my mindset. And so when I got to my office and I did my video, I was fine. Now, call back, apologize, right, for bad behavior, as we always should. If we do bad things for other people, we need to apologize to them. But what's interesting is how quickly you can get back to normal. Ever been mad at your kids and the phone rings? You're like, hey, how are you? Like, you can switch that very quickly. And so to understand you have power in doing that. So how do you really release it though? How do you really get rid of it? We sit down, we have rational conversations. Again, we might cry, we may have, women cry because they're mad, sad, glad, angry, whatever. We cry for all kinds of reasons. And it's okay to have that release. That's our body and our emotions releasing that, or to go for a walk, or to do a workout, or, go stomp in a puddle. I don't care. Sometimes anything weird kind of helps and it breaks that thought process, okay? So anything we can do to kind of release that trigger before it really, really blows up, okay? So I want to really help you think about calming your fears right now, because again, there are so many things, as we know, that are happening in the world. And it's easy to go below into that victim fear, blame, shame, kind of icky place. And if we notice early on, we have power to change and to change ourselves and to change our thinking so that we can be more rational and we have more power in that moment and more potential for possibilities and for solutions. Down here, we're just holding grudges. We're in the pain and victim mentality. So how do you get above that line? I've talked about that in other videos, where I stay calm and I can have rational decisions and make rational solutions to situations, okay? So how do you calm that fear, okay? So again, just to review, noticing, taking your breath, knowing you're fine, knowing if it's a real emergency or not, and really telling yourself you're fine because it's not, right? Taking your break, moving away, giving yourself some space and time, and then to really release that emotion once that negativity kind of implants itself in you. So that is your tip today. I'm so happy to have coffee with you. It's Friday morning and it looks like a beautiful day and a beautiful weekend. Please enjoy all the beautiful things in life. And if you need some help and support around career or life transition or with your students or even your work team, I'm available at zealcoaching.com, and I'm so happy to be with you today. Have a fabulous day and make it a fabulous day. This is Christy Shell. Thanks.